Oh, hi there. Mel here. How are you tonight? I promised you a video with audio tonight, and I'm going to keep true to that promise. Tonight, we're going to do the introduction to modeling tools, which we would have done yesterday, but as always, I forgot to turn on my mic. At any rate, we're going to get started with the basics of anything that you could need for model building. And I'm talking about scale miniature models and, well, scale and miniature models, not the actual models you see on the runways. Those are actual people, so don't try to build anything. I think that's illegal. Anyway, first things first. Most models come in plastic things called sprues. And in order to get the pieces off of those sprues, I recommend getting one of these sprue cutters. Pretty neat, not expensive, probably $4 or $5. If you're paying more than $4 or $5, somebody's trying to rip you off. Don't stand for that. Tell them no and go somewhere else. Now, the second thing that you're really going to want to have, this is also kind of important, is glue. Now, I'm not sponsored by the Gorilla Glue people yet, maybe. At any rate, no. But you should get some sort of super glue or a what we call a CA glue, which is basically like a glue for plastics, or more to the point, if you have wooden models, if you have multiple things, CA works better. If you're going to be working specifically with plastic, I recommend getting a bottle of CA, or not CA, of Tamiya extra thin cement. Now you can get the stuff that has a quick dry time, but I recommend you want to have at least a little bit, so just get the regular extra thin, and you'll be fine with that. What that does is it's for the, and it's called a cement because it's not technically a glue. What it does is it actually melts the plastic together on the pieces that you want to connect, and so that when it dries, they're essentially one piece of plastic. So that works out real well. If you're going to be working, however, with a lot of, let's say, multi-form, I like to call them multimedia. They're because they can be plastic and metal. You want to be getting also, if you're going to be working with a CA glue, you want to get this. It's like an accelerant. It's this one is by a company called Zap, but there are others out there. Definitely consider picking this up. Again, pretty inexpensive for a bottle this big. This is only 2 ounces, easily affordable. Now, I'm going to show you the most important tool right after the sprue cutter, and that's this. This is a hobby knife. Most famously, you've probably all seen these in school. These are X-Acto knives. You don't have to get X-Acto. There are other brands out there. Whatever's the least expensive is what I recommend picking up. Um, and you need that. Really, you want that to help you work on some of the finer pieces, and also to trim some of the what we call flashing or excess plastic off of your sprues. That will happen. Almost every company experiences that. It's not really a big deal. It just happens, and as they, inject the plastic into most of these molds. Now, another thing that you're going to want to invest in, and I'm going to tell you a little bit of a secret on this. This is a metal file. Now, you don't have to get a metal file set. This one is particularly by Citadel or Games Workshop. I pretty much use those because I bought those when they were on sale a while ago. I've had that particular file for almost 20 years now. I would really recommend going out and just picking up a couple of really inexpensive emery boards from your local pharmacy once they're open again, or you can order them online on Amazon. And pretty much they're really affordable. You can get multiple grits in there, and you're going to save a lot of money in the long run just by picking up like a pack of them. They're really inexpensive. So, highly recommend doing that. You may even want to consider some, different sandpaper grits at your local hardware store if they're inexpensive enough, because you can always use those as well. You just need to cut them down to the appropriate size. If you're really good about it, you can even cut a piece off and like glue it onto like a little bit of a plastic, or if you have like, a piece of like a small piece of wood, um, go ahead and just glue it onto there, and you can use that and get that down to the size you need to work on whatever kind of model that you're trying to work on. And the last thing is you're going to probably want a couple of brushes, not just one brush, a couple. Again, you don't need to go crazy on the price for these. Good quality ones shouldn't cost more than a couple of dollars. Um, Pretty much I recommend getting what they call a standard brush or a base coating brush. Actually, just get a base coating brush. You want to get some sort of dry brush, which they'll and you want to get maybe like I call a standard brush, which is just your basic, no frills brush that you could actually use for everything, with the exception of dry brushing. And you probably want to get a smaller brush for doing some detail work if you're working on miniatures. Other than that, there's really not too much else that you need to get involved in scale modeling or miniatures, like tabletop miniatures, like for D&D or Warhammer or War Machine, because I'll throw that out there because they're a good company too. Um, but yeah, that's really all you need to get started in the hobby. I really recommend just picking up, if you're going to get into model building, pick up two copies of one model that's relatively inexpensive. So something I would say $10 or less. The reason I recommend that is because when you get a model, if it's your first time working on them, you want to, and if it's something that you're like excited to build, you may make some mistakes, and you might, you know, it might not come out looking like the prettiest thing in the world, but that's okay. Happens to a lot of people. Pick up something inexpensive, learn, kind of, learn, go through the ropes, learn the game, and then once you figured out, hey, this is how it works and this is what I need to do, then you'll be able to build one, and have it be like a good quality one. But that's just usually, par for the course for getting started with anything. You want to practice, and the more you do it, the better you'll be at it. At any rate, that's all I have for tonight. Just want to thank you all again for stopping in tonight. Thank God we got the audio, and yes, I will check it before I go ahead and upload the video. And you know what? Overall, I listen. I just hope you're doing well, and hang in there. You got this. Believe me, I know what you're going through. We're all going through the same thing together. And remember, stay in, stay well, stay safe. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow. Mel out.